everybody, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a, I believe, suggested prediction between Kamala Harris and Mike Garcia. By the way, Colorado could be likely. So yeah, just going through labeling all of the, or not just, but going through labeling all of these safe states for Harris and Garcia. Alright, so for Harris's likely states, she gets New Mexico, Nebraska second, Minnesota, Maine at large, and Virginia. Whereas Garcia gets Nebraska's first, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Alaska, and Indiana. In New Mexico, Harris is going to do well enough with Hispanic and Latino voters. Garcia is going to be pretty strong with Hispanic and Latino voters. But Harris is going to be fairly strong as well. And Garcia is probably going to struggle with oil workers. They're both going to struggle with oil workers. But I see Garcia turning out less rural voters, but doing well enough with the Hispanic and Latino vote to the point where it's probably fairly similar to 2020, maybe a little bit to the left. Virginia, Harris is going to do well enough with the black vote, do well enough in D.C. suburbs. Garcia is going to struggle to turn out rural voters, Maine at large. I see Garcia probably doing better with white rural college-educated voters, so shifting it to the right. Minnesota, Garcia is going to struggle with the working class. They're both going to struggle with the working class. Garcia is going to struggle with the rural vote. Harris is going to do well enough with Minneapolis and do well enough in the suburbs. Nebraska second, she's going to do well enough in the suburbs. For Garcia's likely states in Kansas, actually let's start off with Nebraska's first. Harris is going to have enough suburban appeal that she's going to only lose it by a likely margin. Kansas, I see Garcia getting less rural turnout, and I see Harris doing well enough in the suburbs, even if Garcia is a decent suburban candidate. Iowa, they're both pretty. Harris is pretty bad for rural voters. Garcia is not exactly the best candidate for rural voters, but Harris is clearly worse. In Missouri, Garcia is going to less rural turnout. Harris is going to retain enough turnout from Kansas City and St. Louis to the point where it's likely Indiana. They're both going to struggle with the working class. Garcia is going to struggle with the rural voters. Harris is going to do well enough in the suburbs and do well enough, all these bigger cities that she's going to be able to only lose it by a likely margin. South Carolina, Garcia is going to do worse with the rural voters. Harris is going to do well enough with the black vote. Fairly similar thing in Mississippi. In Alaska, we're going to see more and more Native American voters turning out and shifting it to the left. I see Harris doing decent with Native American voters. I see them both probably struggling with oil workers. For Harris's lean states, she gets Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Georgia. Nevada, Garcia is going to get less rural turnout. Harris he's going to do pretty decent with the Hispanic and Latino vote. Honestly, it easily could be and maybe should be tilt. It's going to be on the line, though, between being tilt and lean. I'm going to give it Harris lean, but it easily could be tilt. Across the entire Rust Belt, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, that is, Wisconsin being the most conservative, Michigan being the most liberal, and Pennsylvania being in the middle. I see Garcia struggling with the rural voters. I see him doing worse than Trump with the working class, so overall shifting it to the left, even if Harris struggles with the working class. I could see Harris being weak enough with the working class that he actually improves over Trump, but fairly similar to Trump, maybe shifts it a little bit to the left. But Harris is going to do well enough with the black vote and do well enough in the suburbs to the point where she carries him by lean margins. New Hampshire, Harris is going to do worse with white rural college-educated voters, but it'll still be lean. In Georgia, Garcia is going to get less rural turnout. Harris is going to do well enough with the black vote. And then, for Garcia's lean states, he gets Ohio, Maine second, and Texas, and Florida, by the way, I'm going to give it to him likely. So, in Texas, I see him getting, by the way, for South Carolina, Mississippi's a fairly similar deal to South Carolina. In Texas, in terms of demographics and why it's gonna vote where it is. In Texas, although it's kind of strange, Mississippi is significantly farther to the right than South Carolina in 2020. But regardless, in Texas, Garcia is going to get less rural turnout. He's probably going to make up for it, or just slightly underperform due to improved numbers with Hispanic and Latino voters. Yet Harris is going to do well enough in the suburbs as she shifts it enough to the left to make it lean. Ohio, fairly similar thing to a lot of the rest of the Rust Belt. It'll be enough to shift it, with Garcia struggling with rural voters. Harris doing well enough with the black vote and doing well enough with suburban voters to be able to shift it enough to the left to the point where it's lean or a high lean or a low likely for Garcia. I mean, second, he has enough populist appeal. Someone like Harris, I don't think has a whole lot of populist appeal. But I don't think that he does either. Honestly, they both don't have phenomenal appeal. For the final states, the tilt states, they are both tilt to Garcia. Arizona and North Carolina. So in Arizona, I see Garcia doing well enough with traditional conservatives and doing well enough with Hispanic and Latino voters that he potentially carries it lean. North Carolina, he's going to get less rural turnout. Harris is going to do pretty well with the black vote and do pretty well in the suburbs. I see him doing just well enough that he's with the working class that he's able to carry it. This could easily go to Harris, though. See, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Oh, by the way, this is actually technically 1:08 a.m. at this moment, so it'll probably come out. So it's gonna come out like the day after this is, I guess, supposed to or whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow or significantly later today. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.